Happy Saturday. How are you guys doing this morning? You like my mug? It's so cute. Anyway, I figure I'd do a get ready with me chatty video. So I'm pretty much just going to do my everyday simple routine, makeup routine, and have some coffee while I talk to you guys for a little bit. So yummy. Okay, so I'm starting with clean skin. I've already prepped my skin. I applied my oils, the magic potions and all that thing. I also applied some pore filler, not a primer, but a pore filler, because I do have rather large pores. So I'm kind of lazy about it. I don't always do it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But today I figured, why not, right? Let's do it. Anyway, I am actually going to use my BB cream, which is what I use for my everyday look. I'm using the BB cream from Garnier in medium deep for combination skin. I love this stuff. Like, I love this stuff. Whenever I don't feel like using foundation, which is generally during most of every day at this point, I go with this. So we are going to go ahead and apply that. I'm going to use my beauty blender because this is all I use. I mean, this is the, I have a gazillion brushes, and I gave them all up for this. This is just my favorite way to apply any kind of liquid product, foundation, or anything of this sort on my skin. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's go. Are you guys ready? Alright, so I actually have to go to work today, so that kind of sucks. Now I'm going to use clean fingers, clean hand. I'm just going to apply that directly to my skin. I love this stuff. The only problem, and I kind of like the biggest con, is that it does not have a great color selection. You're pretty much going from, I think it's like light and then medium coverage. Medium color. So I'm just going to dot it all over my face, and then I'm going to use my beauty blender, and I'm just going to bounce that all over my skin. And you can see immediately, I love, like, the coverage is just, it provides light to medium coverage, and it's definitely buildable. I mean, let me tell you, I've used this instead of foundation on days when I've gone all full glam, and honestly, it just depends on the application, the way you apply it, and everything else that you use to make it last long. So I am just going to bounce, and as I am bouncing the beauty blender, I am pressing the product into my skin. Because I did use the pore filler, rubbing I feel is kind of counterproductive, because then I'll be rubbing that pore filler all over my face and out of the pores, which is where I need them. So I am just going to bounce this. Once again, the product I'm doing is bouncing it into my skin, and this feels so good and refreshing. It is very, I've wet it prior to using it. You guys know how to use a beauty blender, right? Let's assume you do. And I am just bouncing all over my face. Like so. And the product is very liquidy, so I definitely didn't use a lot of it. Once again, I'm really not going for a full coverage per se look. I do have a lot of imperfections, and I have a lot of freckles. Look at my freckles. I tend to hide with foundation when I do my full coverage foundation, but with this everyday natural look, what I like is that you can actually see the freckles. They're there. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more. I want to kind of drag the product down from my neck all the way down so that there's no lines of demarcation. You definitely don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. So I'm going to put a little bit. Plus, I do have a couple of problem areas. I'm actually been breaking out on this area. So I need a little tiny bit more coverage than general. But once again, like, seriously, this is so, it's not a lot of, it's not heavy at all. I just love this stuff. Like, I love this stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to put that away real quick. And then we're going to bounce. And you know what a great idea would be? For me to actually pull out a mirror so I can see what I'm doing and not just look at the camera. So let's do that. So, let me put it right there, actually. So, some of you might know that it is Star Trek month for Trekkies like me. It marks the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, so pretty much the whole month of September is going to be dedicated to us and our love of Star Trek, and we'll be doing a lot of activities. So we have a lot of stuff planned. Next weekend we are hoping to take a road trip up to Ticonderoga, I think that's how you say it. hashtag I have an accent, in New York, where they have a huge like set of the Star Trek original series soundstage kind of a thing. Deanna's so excited, like I can't even tell you. So am I. It's gonna be so much fun. I love being able to share into his geekiness, because I definitely never was into any of a lot of the things that I'm into now prior to meeting Dan. So it's always great when you have someone that like exposes you to new things and you try them and you actually end up liking them. All right, so enough padding, and I definitely do bounce this all over my skin very thoroughly. I want as much coverage in the sense that I want it to be evenly spread throughout my skin. I don't want blotches, and that's the great thing about the Beauty Blender, that it allows for a flawless application, but it also looks airbrushed. It looks natural. There are not going to be any finger strokes, no brush strokes, nothing on your brush. I'm not hitting the brush. Use whatever you like, but this, alrighty. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to apply concealer or anything of the like. I'm actually been using, once again, this is also a very light product, and I don't have crazy under eye circles, as you can tell. I mean, there are some, you can tell I was up like last night watching the Star Trek marathon, but I'm not really looking for a full coverage concealer. So I'm using this Garnier BB Eye Miracle Perfector for the under eye area. I'm just going to put a little bit of that just to brighten a little bit that area. Once again, I don't always use this. Sometimes I forget that I have it, but I remember today. And it's got the little ball, so it feels so cooling on your under eyes, and it's very gentle, because you want to remember that area right below your eyes. It's very gentle, and you want to tread carefully. You don't want to tag at it. And you can see it kind of just brightened that up just a little bit. It's nothing crazy. It's just very natural. Oh God, and it feels so good on my eyes too. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap all over there with my Beauty Blender. I'm going to take the excess up to my lid because, see? And you can see it has kind of like a little radiant finish. It is for combination skin, which is what I have, so it's not going to leave me very dewy. But this is not meant to be a long-lasting wearing product. So me, I'm going to be gone for the next 12 hours. So I want this to not slide on my face and leave any like no shift or anything like that. So what I do is I set it. Anything that I apply, any foundation, no matter how natural or how light I want the look to be, I set it, because setting is what's going to prevent it from shifting and moving and creasing and doing all those horrible things that we end up being like, why? So we're going to set, and actually what I use for setting is my, let me just tap, 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 my Bare Minerals Original Powder, which I love. I know they come out with like matte formulas, and now they have compacts and like all this other good, but this is what I go back to, because I just love the finish of it. It's very natural. It gives me like a little luminescent kind of finish, and powder, no matter how amazing or how greatly milled the powder is a powder. You put powder on your face, you're gonna look like you have powder on your face. But the great thing about mineral powder is that it kind of takes away that dry look, so it makes it look a little bit more skin-like. Let's be honest, once again, anytime you put on makeup's never gonna look like you have no makeup on. But if someone's standing 3 inches from your face, they're gonna know you have makeup on, okay? But here, maybe not as much. So we're gonna tap this, because this is loose powder and I don't want it to get all over the place. Now, I want a light dusting of this. I don't want it to be too concentrated. It's, just want to set my BB cream. It's not about so much the coverage, even though it will add some coverage to my skin, but it depends on how you apply it. I'm just gonna tap a little bit, just the tip, as my husband would say. Just gonna swirl that in a little bit, and just gonna lightly, using a big fluffy brush, because once again I want a light dusting of it. The smaller and the more dense the brush, the more product it's going to apply to wherever it is you're dusting. So I'm just gonna lightly, once again, you want to be very careful when you're using brushes on your skin after you apply foundation or your cream foundation, your contour, because you have to remember, you don't want to put the brush in there and start scraping off and moving the product. So you have to be very gentle. It's all about making sure that you grab the brush appropriately. So the closer you grab to the funnel, the more pressure you're going to apply on your skin. The farther away you hold the brush, the less pressure. Oh, take note. Anyway, so let me just get through. I'm grabbing, like, you can't really see it, it's off camera, a tiny bit, and then just kind of tap it off on my hands, because I don't want it to go swirling all over the place. So, and I'm just softly dusting every little bit of my skin. And like I said, this is going to help prolong it, but this is not the only thing that I do to help prolong it. I am so excited. I cannot wait for this day to be over because I am planning on being such a lazy little later. Once I get home from work, I'm gonna just hang out with my boo, keep watching some Star Trek marathon. I know you're getting over it, but I'm not gonna stop talking about it. I cannot wait for fall. Anybody else excited about fall? I'm a fall girl. I love my seasons. I know everybody's all about like hot weather, let's go live in Florida. And I'm just like, ew, no. I want to sweat. I'm willing to sweat, a specific amount of time, but not the whole entire fucking season. Like, I want to be cold and wear comfy clothing and sweaters and boots and leggings, so mine, Anyway, light dusting. Now, I have combination skin, so that means that the areas, for me particularly, where I get oily through the day are going to be my T-zone, which is up here, and my nose. So if anything, I might concentrate a little extra powder there just to keep that at bay. So once again, you always want to run that all the way down to your neck. You want to make sure that you match. Another tip as well too, for example, I had a tan over the summer and now it's starting to fade. And you want to make sure that big telltale, your ears match your face. A lot of people don't talk about that, but whenever you get a tan, fake tan, spray tan, real tan, whatever it is, you want to make sure that, you put your makeup, anytime you do makeup, you do an ear check, not just a neck check, not just this area check, but you check that your ears match your face, because that's really awkward when your ears are one color and your face is another color. Anywho, once I finish that, I am actually going to bring some warmth to my face by using a little bronzer, and I'm actually once again sticking to Bare Minerals. This is in the color, oh oopsie, that's the wrong one. This is in Fall Tan, Big Tan. I'm gonna tap the top because it's loose powder. I don't want it to get everywhere, and I'm just gonna use a small, I don't even know, this is a BH Cosmetics brush. I should have mentioned the brushes, but I just have so many and I kind of used them, handled them so much, a lot of the names are worn off, so whoopsie. I'm not a brush snob, so I'm not here trying to tell you which brands and whatnot. Makeup is about what works for you, and everybody's different. Everybody. I met a lot of people that are makeup snobs. They're all about the high-end makeup and the brand makeup, and my thing is this. Just like with anything in life, you can have the best of the best, but if you don't know how to use it accordingly, it's kind of like have fun with your $50 brush if you don't know how to use it to apply product correctly. Anyway, so I'm just grabbing a little bit and I'm starting here. Once again, I'm not doing a harsh contour, which is what I would generally do in a kind of like a glam look. I'm just grabbing it on the perimeters and kind of applying that softly on the perimeters of my face. I want to bring some shadow to those areas. I do have high cheekbones, which are currently hidden because of this angle of the camera. I'm kind of like this. So I'm just bringing a little definition, a little extra something to the perimeters of my face so that it doesn't look just kind of like blah. So I am adding that and I'm just blending. A lot of makeup, I think it's like 75% of makeup application, whether it's eyeshadow, foundation, anything, blush, it's all about the buffing. It's not a very exciting time. That's why you see a lot of videos when they fast forward through the blushing and eyeshadow application. It's like, you'll see like, oh, it only takes 2 seconds to blend. No, it does not. No, it does not. Now, because I am not editing my videos, because I'm lazy, you will see this in action. You're wondering, why are you still blending in the same areas? Because, girl, that's what you gotta do. You want it to not look like you just dusted sugar on your face. You know what I mean? You want it to be seamless. You want that when you turn your face, you are going to see the difference in the color. I mean, I'm hoping you can see that. But it's kind of so blended in such a way that it almost looks natural. Once again, almost a natural. When it comes to makeup, it's just a way of saying it doesn't look as caked up as it should or could be. So now we're gonna do this side, and I'm grabbing super tiny amounts, and you could use whatever you want. This is what I love to do. Once again, this is what I do. This is my everyday makeup routine. So yes, this is not a what you should use, how you should use. I'm just showing you what I do, and generally this takes me about 5 minutes. except, you know, I'm yapping away like a fucking hyena right now, so clearly it's gonna take a little bit longer. I think we're like at 15 minutes right now. And I'm just buffing it all over. Now I do have a big dome, a big forehead. Thanks, Mom. So what I do is, the reason I apply here a little bronzer or a little, whenever you're contouring, I don't want to get into that, but I'm just going to touch up on it a little bit, is because I want to minimize the look of my forehead. Because here, you see there's like a shade in here. This area is kind of naturally highlighted at this point because I've applied the bronzer in a way that it looks like light is shining from out of my skin. Does that make sense? Like, shine. So this is what you're doing. The reason I do kind of like the whole perimeter of my face as opposed to just once and do that is because I want the visual of it to be that there's like a light shining through my face. I feel like I'm sounding insane, but makeup lovers, you understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I think I'm good for now. Now I'm just gonna apply some blush. Always blush. People sometimes, let me get these hairs under control. I'm growing out my hair, so it's kind of like, it's in that point where it's like boxy and crazy looking and just like, rah! So it's getting very hard to handle. I'm using this to keep my hair down so I don't get product all over the place, which is gonna get all over the place anyways, but you know. Okay, so I'm going with a blush, and I'm actually using, once again, Bare Minerals. I'm kind of just in love with it right now. I mean, I've loved it for a long time, but whatever. It's called A Little Sun, so I'm gonna put a little bit of that. Oh my goodness. That's the only thing about loose powders, is it can get all over the place. So once again, I'm gonna tap a little bit on my brush, and I'm not gonna show you this. I'm tapping it on my hand a little bit just to kind of get rid of some of that. And I'm just gonna do Smile and just apply it to the tops of the apple of my cheek, to my cheeks, to my apple of my cheeks. So, and right here, very lightly, because I want a natural flush. I want my skin to look like I just have a little flush of color, which is associated with youth. Something I definitely, I'm starting to lag, guys. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I feel like the older I'm getting, the less I feel my makeup changing, the way I apply it and the products and everything, because my skin's changing as I get older. And as everybody gets older, your skin changes. So the products you use when you were 20, in your 30s, you kind of have to reevaluate them as you grow older, and the texture of your skin changes and the needs of your skin change as well. So we're gonna put a little bit, and I love this because the mineral makeup just leaves my skin, you see that? Kind of just like a really beautiful finish. It's not, I don't want to say dewy, because to me dewy is kind of like slick and wet, but it just looks, my skin looks hydrated, and I'm going to use the word juicy. Does that sound a little wrong? Whatever, I love that word. My skin looks juicy because it just looks like I moisturized this morning and it worked. Kind of like that. Especially because my skin lately has been getting a little dry, and now as we're entering fall soon and winter, my skin tends to get a little dry in certain areas, so I definitely do have to change the way I make my makeup. And now it's time for coffee break. Café con leche gives me life. Okie dokie stokie. Now, I like the natural finish of this, but I want, because I'm such a makeup hoe, I want a little extra something else. So what I do is I go in with my favorite highlighter, which is the Wet n Wild Fergie collection, and this one is Hollywood Boulevard. I have all of them. They are amazing for the price. And I'm just going to use a fanning brush, simply because this is going to apply it. I guess this is going to give me like a minimal application of it, as opposed to kind of like a heavier brush, which is just going to, I want a little bit of this. I want to be very careful with this, because this stuff I'm just going to, I mean, look at this, sir. Look at this, look at this. Look, can you even see that? I don't even know, but oh my god, it's like, look at that. Look at that glow. Look at that. Anyway, I'm gonna put a little bit, and I'm just gonna go here. Now, generally, when I do a full glam look, I like scrape this on my face like crazy, because I want to be like, bam, I want to shine like a diamond. But every day, natural daylight, I don't want to be shining like a diamond, okay? I want to look like it just, like a little something. So I want the light to hit this area. So you want to apply where the light is going to hit your face. And I'm just going to keep it here, I suppose, where I generally go all the way down whenever I do a full glam look. And I'm just going to do here. Now, the thing you have to be careful about, with when it comes to highlighters or anything like this that's reflective, is that if you have big pores like I do, you're just gonna have to know this is gonna make your pores look huge. Anything shiny is gonna make your pores look huge. So you wanna be very careful about where you place it. Unless, like me, you just don't get, and you wanna place it anywhere you want to. So for now, I'm just gonna put a little bit here, once again, a little bit here, and this is such a little thin brush, it just applies it barely. So I'm gonna put it here at the tip of my nose, on the top of my cupid's bow, because it's just gonna make my lips look a little bit bigger. My lips are alright. They're not like full, plump, beautifully shaped lips. They're not. So, but I love them anyway. Just here and there. So this is the thing, right? You turn, wherever light's gonna hit that, it's gonna reflect and it's gonna make it look like this. Yeah, this is why we love that shimmer. Now you have to be very careful with highlighters, depending on your preference as well, I guess. But I like a highlighter that's very well milled, that it's not chunky, and when I apply it, it's not like I have chunks of glitter on my skin. I don't want that. I want something just that's very well milled and very soft and applies very naturally once again. Alright, so this is pretty much it for my skin. Now I am going to go in and do my eyebrows, which, by the way, I've had to come to accept that my eyebrows are not perfect. And I love Cholo brows. Like, those are my life. And I love to do them whenever I go fully, completely glam. But every day, it's just not something I'm willing to spend time on. So I've been kind of keeping my eyebrows a-okay, groomed them a little bit. I mean, you can see they're definitely not the best shape. They're not full. They're not thick and gorgeous. God, I wish. But they're mine and I love them. And I'm trying really hard to accept them as they are. So all I'm going to do to my brows is I am going to just fill them in with some powder. And it's going to be very minimal. I was going to do it off camera, and I think I'm going to do that just because let's save that for another video, eh? So why don't you hold on a minute? I'm going to do my brows, and then we're pretty much going to be done. So let's do that, yeah?